Did you realize revenge is a dish best served at every family dinner? My stepmother taught me everything I know about using food as a weapon, though I don't think she meant for me to become such an excellent student. See, growing up in our house, my dad had forbidden any physical punishment after what he went through as a kid, so my stepmother got creative with her discipline, though only with me since her biological children could do no wrong in her eyes. She discovered I had a mild seafood allergy during a family dinner when my throat got itchy from shrimp cocktail. Nothing serious enough to warrant an EpiPen, but uncomfortable enough that I'd always avoided it after that. The thing about mild allergies is they're easy to dismiss, especially when you're a kid and your stepmother insists you're being dramatic. First it was shrimp in the fried rice when I talked back, then crab cakes when I got a B on my report card, and by the time I was 12 she was making full lobster dinners whenever I disappointed her. She'd sit across from me while my throat swelled just enough to make swallowing difficult, my skin breaking out in hives that she'd later claim were stress-related if anyone asked. This only happened when Dad worked evening shifts at the hospital, and she'd cry these big crocodile tears if I tried to refuse. I spent $40 on this lobster because I wanted to make something special for you, she'd sob while I sat there with watering eyes and burning throat. Other stepdaughters would be so grateful, but you just want to hurt my feelings. The worst part wasn't the physical discomfort, but the gaslighting that came with it, because she'd act completely confused if I ever brought it up later. You must be remembering wrong, sweetheart. You've never had any issues with seafood, she'd say with this sweet smile that never reached her eyes. By 13, I was keeping Benadryl hidden in my backpack and learned to eat slowly enough that the reaction wouldn't peak until after dinner when I could hide in my room. She'd make seafood pasta with the shellfish ground up so fine I couldn't pick it out, or she'd use fish stock in soups and act shocked when I'd start scratching at my arms halfway through the meal. Stop being so dramatic, she'd snap when my voice would get raspy, then tell my father I was coming down with another cold when he got home. The few times I tried to tell him what was happening, she'd cry about how I was making up stories for attention, and since the reactions were never severe enough for the hospital, there was no proof. Her kids ate normal food while I forced down another plate of coconut shrimp, watching her watch me to make sure I finished every bite. Everything changed when I turned 16 and my father got promoted to day shift supervisor, which meant he'd finally be home for family dinners. That same week, my stepmother informed me I'd be taking over cooking duties twice a week as part of my new responsibilities, and I remember standing in the kitchen that first Tuesday, thinking about all those nights I'd spent sick in my bedroom. She'd controlled every meal I'd eaten for 8 years, used food as a weapon while pretending to be the perfect stepmother, and now she was handing me the keys to the kitchen without realizing what she'd just done. I started researching spice levels that very night, learning that my stepmother couldn't even handle black pepper without reaching for milk, something I'd noticed but never paid attention to before. The plan formed slowly as I experimented with different recipes, starting with barely noticeable amounts of cayenne in her favorite chicken dish, and gradually working my way up to habaneros and ghost peppers. The beauty was that everyone else in the family loved spicy food except her, so when I announced I was exploring international cuisine for my cooking nights, my dad and half-siblings were thrilled. The first time I served her my special Thai curry, she took one bite and her eyes immediately started watering while she tried to maintain her composure in front of my father. "Is something wrong with your meal?" I asked innocently, tilting my head with the same concerned expression she'd perfected over the years. "It's delicious, honey," she managed to choke out while downing her entire glass of water, and when she tried to push the plate away, I let my eyes well up with tears. "You always eat everything I make. Did I do something wrong? Are you mad at me?" My father looked up from his own plate where he was happily eating the mild version I prepared for everyone else, though my stepmother didn't know we had different dishes, and frowned at her. "The kids worked hard on this meal, dear, and it's absolutely fantastic." She forced herself to finish every bite while her nose ran, and her makeup smeared from tears she couldn't control, and I watched with the same calm expression she'd worn all those years ago. That was 10 years ago, and I still cook for her twice a week when we have family dinners, my dad complimenting my adventurous cooking while she sits there trapped by her own game. Just last week, I made her ghost pepper mac and cheese that had her excusing herself from the table 3 times, and when she came back with mascara running down her cheeks claiming allergies, I handed her a tissue with the sweetest smile I could manage. "I know exactly how you feel, Mom. Allergies can be so unpredictable, can't they?"